Dear children, welcome to all of you in English class. Hope that all of you are well at your home. Dear children, today we will solve the comprehensions of the poem that is The Shed, which is written at the end of chapter 3, that is Gopal and the Hilsa fish of your book Honeycomb. Dear children, as you know that these days we are doing textbook comprehensions in grammar. Today we will doing the comprehensions of poem The Shed. Dear children, there are 3 comprehension stanzas which is important in this poem. Dear children, let's read one by one these stanzas. Dear children, first we read these lines and understand also these lines. Thereafter, we will solve the questions that follows. Now, let's read. There's a shed at the bottom of our garden, with a spider's web hanging across the door. The hens are rusty and creak in the wind. When I am in bed, I lie and I listen. I will open that door one day. Dear children, the poet in these lines describes that there is a shed at the bottom of his garden. There is spider's web and the hinges or the door joints have become rusty and make a lot of noise when the wind flows because the shed remains closed for a very long time. The poet thinks about the scary things at the bedtime. The poet wishes to open that door of the shed. Let's understand in Hindi also. प्यारे बच्चों, कवि इन पंक्तियों में बड़े सुंदर ढंग से वर्णन करता है कि उसके बगीचे के नीचे के हिस्से में एक शेड है। वहां पर मकड़ी का एक जाला है और दरवाजे के जोड़ या कुंडियां भी जंग खा चुकी है और जब हवा चलती है तो उनसे बहुत आवाज आती है क्योंकि शेड काफी दिनों से बंद पड़ा है। कवि जब सोने जाता है तो उसे अजीब बातें ध्यान में आती हैं। कवि की इच्छा है कि किसी दिन वह शेड के दरवाजे को जरूर खोलेगा। Now dear children, let's solve the questions of this stanza. The first question is, where is the shed located? The answer of this question is, the location of this shed is at the bottom of the garden. Now second question, where is the spider's web hanging? The answer of this question is, a spider's web is seen hanging across the door. Now third question, why do hens creak in the wind? The answer of this question is, the hens creak in the wind because they are rusty. Now, fourth question, when does the poet listen the sounds of the door? The answer of this question is, the poet listens the sounds of the door when he is in bed and it is silence around. Now, dear children, let's go to stanza second. Similarly, like stanza first we read these lines and understand these lines both in English and Hindi. Let's read. There's a dusty old window around at the side with 3 cracked panes of glass. I often think there's someone staring at me. Each time that I pass, I will peep through that window one day. Now, dear children, let's understand these lines. The poet in these lines describes that the shed has a dusty old window and 3 cracked panes. Whenever the poet passes through the shed, he gets the feeling as if someone is looking constantly at him. Due to this fact, the poet dared to peep into it. But in order to find out, the poet wishes to peep inside the shed. आओ बच्चों, अब हिंदी में भी जानें। कवि इन पंक्तियों में वर्णन करता है कि शेड की पुरानी खिड़की है और इस खिड़की के 3 कांच टूट गए हैं। जब भी कवि शेड के पास से गुजरता है तो उसे ऐसा महसूस होता है कि कोई उसे घूर रहा है। इस कारण से कवि उसके अंदर नहीं झांकता, परंतु यह जानने के लिए कि वहां कौन है, कवि उस शेड के अंदर झांकना चाहता है। Now dear children, let's solve the questions of this stanza. The first question is, what is being described in the above stanza? The answer of this question is, an old shed in the garden is described in the above stanza. Now second question is, what does the third line show about speaker's mind? The answer of this question is, the third line shows that there is fear in the speaker's mind. Now third question, do you think the place is of daily use? Give reasons for your answer. The answer of this question is, no, the place is not of daily use. The fact that the old window was dusty and had 3 cracked panes reveals it. Now fourth question, what does the broken window suggest? The answer of this question is, the broken glass panes of the dusty window suggested lack of maintenance. Now fifth question, what is planning for one day? The answer of this question is, he plans that he will peep through the window of the shed. So, dear children, I hope you understand these questions and answers of the stanza. Now, let's go to stanza 3. Let's read the lines first. I know that there isn't really a ghost. My brother tells lie to keep the shed for his den. There isn't anyone stirring or making strange noises, and the spider has been gone from his web, since I don't know when. I will go into that shed one day soon, but not just yet. Written by Frank Flynn. Now, dear children, let's understand this stanza. The poet in these lines reaches to the concluding part and says that he knows there is no ghost inside the shed. He convinces himself that his brother had been telling him lies because he wanted to retain the shed for his own hiding place. The poet also knows that nobody makes strange noises and stares at him. Furthermore, spiders also gone from his web. The poet seems determined to go into the shed one day because he was not ready to go into it right now. प्यारे बच्चों, आओ अब इसे हिंदी में भी जानें। कवि इन पंक्तियों में निर्णायक भाग में पहुंचते हैं और कहते हैं कि वे जानते हैं कि वहां शेड के अंदर कोई भूत नहीं है। वे स्वयं को विश्वास दिलाते हैं कि उनका भाई उनसे झूठ बोल रहा था क्योंकि वह शेड को अपने छुपने का स्थान बनाने के लिए रखना चाहता था। वे यह भी जान गए थे कि कोई उन्हें ना तो घूरता है ना ही अजीब अजीब सी आवाज निकालता है। इसके अतिरिक्त मकड़ी भी अपने जाले से चली गई है, जिसका कवि को पता नहीं है कि वो कब गई। कवि शेड के अंदर जाने के लिए पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त है, परंतु अभी वह उसमें जाने के लिए तैयार नहीं है। So dear children, now go to the questions. The first question of this comprehension stanza is, what does the poet's brother tell him? The answer of this question is, the poet's brother tells him that there is a ghost inside the shed. Now, second question, what does the poet thinks about his brother's instruction? The answer of this question is, the poet thinks that his brother does not want him to go the shed because he had made it his own private place. Now third question, name the poem and poet. The answer of this question is, the name of poem is The Shed and it is composed by Frank Flynn. Now fourth question, what change the poet find about the shed? The answer of this question is, there is not anyone staring or making strange noises. Now last question of this comprehension stanza. Why does the poet postpone his visit to the shed? The answer of this question is, the poet postponed his visit because he is still hesitant. So dear children, I hope that you understand all the three comprehensions of this poem with question answer. Dear children, There is a worksheet along with this video. Kindly solve the comprehension questions given in the worksheet. Thank you. Be happy and safe.